Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. You are joining me in a 992 911. We got my buddy Sean here. Say hi to the vlog.
What's up, guys?
He's driving his car. This is a 911 Carrera, but it's got the cool package where it makes it look like a baby GT3. And we're actually going to be going to Prestige Imports. I have another video about this, which was a lot of fun, but it's always nice to visit the dealerships because there is a lot of cool stuff, and who knows, we may do some other things along the way. But I'll see you at Prestige Imports
in point one.
All right, well, I just realized that the person on Waze said, at the roundabout, turn right. So thanks for that, lady. And then we got the navigation.
Turn right, and then keep left.
We got Waze primarily because it tells you where the police are, which is always a lot of fun. But yeah, this car's
keep
pretty well.
left.
Oh my God. Well, this car's pretty well spec'd too. You got the red seatbelts, red stitching, and you got the red
in point one of a mile, turn
Let me
left.
turn this. Oh my God. All right, well, I'll see you all over there. Considering this is a turbocharged flat six, this sounds pretty good. And this thing revs to well over 7,000 RPM. Hello everyone, from the outside of Prestige Imports. And I just realized my shirt, if you saw my last video, I was impersonating Shmee 150, and well, this shirt's even more Shmee 150. So Shmee, if you're watching this, I love your videos. But this is Sean again, and this is his car. This is a 911 Carrera. This is definitely not a spec that you usually see every day. Now, I usually would not be a fan of like the red stripes, but I actually think it looks really cool. You got the gray wheels, the 911 Carrera stripe on the side, and then it's got the aero pack. Is that what that is?
Yeah, the Aero Kit.
It's the Aero Kit, which makes it look like a mini GT3, and it is absolutely gorgeous. And I think on the Carreras, you get the quad exhaust, and then on the Carrera S, you get the circular exhaust. I much prefer this to the circular exhaust. And all 911, the 992s get the wide body kit, unlike my dad's generation where you had to get the all-wheel drive version to get the wide body. And so when I was sitting in the passenger seat looking through the side view mirror, you got to see the beautiful wide hips and the wing, and it just looked awesome. And considering this is the base Carrera, this looks fantastic. But let's head inside and take a look and see what they have inside. All right, everybody, welcome to the inside of Prestige Imports. Now, I've been here many times, so it's always cool to come back and see what new inventory they have. This place has a couple of heavy hitters, as you can see right behind me. So right behind me, well, now in front of me, we have two Pagani Huayra BCs. Not 100% sure if that's a Roadster, but I think it's a coupe. But regardless, I mean, look at this. Absolutely insane. We got a Pagani Huayra here with the Tempesta package with a roof scoop. And we got a bunch of cool stuff over here. But let's start over here. So I think we got two Shelbys. I'm not sure if this is the original. I feel like this is a kit car. And maybe this one as well. I'm not 100% sure. Then we got a McLaren Senna, which, well, I really am not the fan of this spec. I think it looks terrible. But you cannot deny that the Senna is an insane car. And then we have a Bugatti Veyron here. But I'm going to sidetrack for a little bit because look at this. We have a carbon fiber encased with glass, the Pagani Huayra shifter. And so when I visited the Pagani factory, I saw these things being made, and every single part, the attention to detail is absolutely incredible. And so I honestly want to take this home for myself. But let's get back to the Veyron. Blue and black combination. I think this was a very classic combination when this car came out. Can you guys believe that this came out in 2005 and it still looks so good? I mean, it's not the most beautiful car ever made, and I can see why people think this is an ugly car, but it is absolutely iconic. W16, 1,001 horsepower, 253 miles an hour top speed. Unreal. Then we have an 812 Superfast over here, which is quite the eclectic spec. It's definitely not my spec, but what is this over here. This is an Aston Martin Vanquish Zagato. What's really cool about this thing, if you don't know what Zagato is, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's an Italian design firm that they do a lot of special editions and collaborate with Aston Martin. And so they changed a little bit of the design features of this car. Now, underneath, it's an Aston Martin Vanquish convertible. However, this thing is going for well over $1 million. And they made 4 different body styles. They made a coupe, a convertible, like this one, or I think it's called the Volante. And then they made a speedster, so it has basically a blocked back seat. And then they made a hatchback, which is probably my favorite one. But this red here is absolutely stunning. I mean, and then along with the gold, it looks richer. And then you have some beautiful details on the interior that are a little difficult to see. You got gold details like throughout the air vents. And then the Huracan STO started up. There's 2 in here. That one's white. They're doing a photo shoot with that car. Then this is probably the coolest part. Look at these taillights. I mean, these look straight out of like Star Wars. These look so cool. And then when you squat down, you got the quad exhaust. I mean, this is such a cool collector's piece. And to be able to see one of these in person is absolutely incredible because these things are incredibly rare. But moving on from that, we have 2 Rolls Royces. We got Ghost, Rolls Royce Dawn. Not crazy about those wheels. S63 AMG. Man, I would not do a matte grille. It makes it look quite cheap in my opinion. 2 488 GTBs. Actually, no. This is a 488 Spider. This is a 488 GTB. So there's a convertible. There's a coupe, tan interior, black interior with red accents. Then we have a really cool SF90. Usually don't see a darker color on one, but really cool. I actually quite like it. It looks brighter on the camera, but in person it's quite dark. It's like almost like a wine color. Then you got, I think, blue interior. Yeah, blue interior, like a navy blue with dark, dark brown or red accents. And silver wheels. Every car has black wheels now. Now, I do like black wheels on a car, but it is really cool to see silver wheels too. And I definitely think some more cars should be bringing back more silver wheels. The back of this thing is absolutely insane. Look at those exhausts. This was definitely controversial when it came out, especially with the taillight design. But in person, I actually think it looks quite good. Then over here, we have an STO. Now, this car, as I mentioned in my last video, is quite a special car to me because I got a chance to drive one when I was in Italy. Well, I rented one for an hour. And this was an amazing opportunity. And every single time I see one, it really hits close to home. This one is actually an absolutely beautiful spec. Not my first color of choice, but I mean, it's a Lamborghini, so it's meant to be showy and have a crazy color. But I mean, this is absolutely incredible. Then moving on from that, I'm not sure if the STO is still in there. No, they drove it out. They're like, take pictures there and stuff like that. But moving on from that, we have the GT Black Series in the launch color. This thing is insane looking. I mean, this is crazy. On camera, I'm not so sure about it. However, in person, this thing is unbelievable looking. Then over here, we have a 488 GTB. Really am liking this color. It's a little darker again on camera. In person than on camera. Then the interior is tan. I think that's a great combination. Then we have one of the most beautifully spec'd 488 pieces I've ever seen. I love the yellow with the black stripes. The wheels are beautiful. There's nothing, in my opinion, not to like about this car, except that it doesn't sound as good as a Speciale. Then we have another 488 GTB. Seems like there's a lot of 488s in here. Then we have a GT2 RS that Sean is creaming his pants over. I might get demonetized for that, so sorry, YouTube. Then we have a 911 Turbo S in such a beautiful blue. We got, it's like a bronze or gold wheel. I really like the design. I don't think I'd personally go with this color combination. However, I'm not going to fault anyone that does. Then we have a beautiful GT3 in a really cool color combination. I'm digging that a lot. Then we have a Viper ACR. Now, there's something special next to it that I'll get into. But we have 2 GT4 RSs. I've never seen this car before, so to see 2 of them is quite the treat. Let's start off with this yellow one. This is such a cool car. So what's really interesting about the GT4, and I think that really appeals to me the most, is the engine. So the normal GT4 has the Carrera's engine, but this one has the exact same engine as the GT3. So it revs to 9,000 RPM. And it's in the middle, unlike the rear, so some people like the handling characteristics a little bit more. But what's really cool is the normal Cayman has a window here. but they replaced that with an air intake on both sides. And what makes that special is the air box is right there. So the induction noise on this thing is unbelievable. Look up GT4 RS sound, and the inside is unbelievable. It actually gives me goosebumps when I listen to it, and I think that really speaks to why I love cars so much and why I love cars that sound good, is because they really bring up emotions and that inner child in you. And to hear that, it automatically puts it up as one of the coolest Porsches ever made because of that airbox sound. And then this is the Weissach cars. So you got this gorgeous carbon fiber hood, and it says Weissach on the seats. It's quite an expensive option, but what these don't feature are the magnesium wheels. I think it's like a $12 to like $15,000 option. I'm not sure, but I mean, these wheels look great. And then let's move on to this one, which these wheels actually I think work the color with this color. And I mean, again, beautiful car, well spec'd. The one thing I don't like about the GT4S is you can't get it in a manual like the GT3. But I mean, Porsche's PDK is a fantastic transmission, so I'm just being picky at this point. But I mean, beautiful cars. Then we got an RT, some probably crazy modified car. Looks like it has a Hellcat engine in it. I'm not really too knowledgeable about these cars, but this thing looks absolutely sick, and it's right behind your head. And there's a glass panel that's blocking it. But let's get into some of the heavy hitters. So I'm gonna go to the floor for a second, and let's first take a look at this. You might see what that is over there. But this is an SLR 722S Roadster. Now, some people don't like the SLR, and it was quite a misunderstood car because a lot of people were comparing it to the Enzo and the Carrera GT, which were both raw cars. This was more of a fast grand touring car, and because it was built by like McLaren, which it was, but it really was more of a Mercedes cruiser, but still a great car. However, I want to point out this for a second because this is a Bugatti Divo. Now, I've seen one of these before in Miami earlier this year at the Design District car show, but I mean, look at this thing. This is full carbon fiber, and this makes a Chiron look soft. This is absolutely gorgeous. It's like a $10 million car, just casually sitting here. I'm kind of speechless, actually. It's unfortunate that these ropes here, so we can't walk around it. However, we can go outside and look at the rear end, which is insanely cool. It has a lot of different dots for the taillights. And what I really like is one seat's blue and one seat's black, and this has blue accents. I'm kind of obsessing over it. This is unbelievable. And then also right here, we have a Viper ACR in this sick green color. And this is a quite cool car because this thing is a beast on the track. And that pretty much sums it up for Prestige Imports. So what we're now going to do is we're actually, after this, going to go to Lamborghini Miami next door and see what they got in there. Now that we're outside of Prestige Imports, I wanted to briefly look at the back of this car because the taillights especially, I mean, so the taillights are here and they're blended in with the design of the back. And so it just looks so cool. And then of course you got the engine right there. This is absolutely stunning. All right, well, I guess we're car spotting near here because there's an F8 Spider and an SVJ. I think it's a Roadster, but I'm not sure. But if he guns it over here, we gotta film that. There's also a nice M3. All right, so now we're by Lamborghini Miami, but they got a cool lot. I'm not going to go over it in too much detail, but we've got a Rolls-Royce Phantom, Bentley Continental GT convertible, Huracan Evo Spider, 2 Huracan STOs. These ones, I'm not really crazy about the spec. A lot of Huracan STOs aren't very well spec'd, unfortunately. 2 California Ts. I definitely prefer this one with the 10 in the red. 812 Superfast, McLaren 720S. Then we have a 675 LT Spider. Those wheels are... I never liked that option. I find them to be a little boring looking. That's just my opinion. 570S, cool yellow. Vanquish S, fucking gorgeous. Oh, excuse my language. Sorry, YouTube. Aston Martin Vantage convertible. That is a beautiful red. Another Aston Martin Vantage, Aston Martin DB11. Then we have a DBX, some Range Rover Defenders, some G63s, Urus, Bentley Continental GT, Bentayga, Cayenne GTS, Urus, but let's go over here because these I'm not really as interested in. But we have a Huracan Evo Spider, Corvette Z06, 458. I love this car. I like this more than the F8 or the 488. It's just such a beautiful car. And considering that this came out in 2010, that's incredible. Beautiful Huracan Evo Spider. This is the all-wheel drive version. Huracan STO, Huracan Evo, GT Black. This color combination looks so badass. And then we have a Gallardo, the pre-LP560. You never see these. This is pretty cool. It's got the it's the automatic. I don't remember the name of the transmission. Paint doesn't look like it's in the best shape, but I mean, this is so cool. And yeah, they got some pretty cool stuff. They got another Huracan ST over there. Yeah, some pretty cool stuff. All right, the arrow just turned green. He's gonna make a Yui. Even for the stock exhaust, that sounds incredible. And that F8, you can barely even hear it. Oh my God. I love the SVJ. It's one of my favorite Lamborghini models ever. I just love V12s. I would take an Aventador over a Huracan any day of the week. Even though a Huracan is a better driving car, the Aventador for me just captures the entire spirit of Lamborghini, which is just to be crazy. But I wouldn't take that one in that spec at all. All right, so we are inside Lamborghini Miami. We have a Countach, two Ultimates, got a coupe, got a convertible, right, roadster, I guess, an SVJ. This is a gorgeous spec. Both of these cars have the comfort seats instead of the bucket seats, including this one. Now, well, I was about to say, if you've never sat in a Lamborghini, well, not a lot of people do get the opportunity to sit in a Lamborghini, but I've had the pleasure of sitting in many Lamborghinis, and I actually just filmed a video of me sitting inside of that, so I'll insert that after this video. But these are the comfort seats, and the bucket seats in the Aventadors are insanely uncomfortable. So, like, you know, they could be uncomfortable in terms of, like, you know, they're a bit tight, but I'm not joking. When you sit down in them, they're rocks. And I've sat in the McLaren Senna. Those seats are very bolstered, especially around your shoulders, but they're comfortable once you're inside. But the Aventador seats are just rocks. You sit on one and you're like, ow, it has no give. But these are the comfort seats, gorgeous interior, carbon fiber door panel. I really like the spec, a beautiful silver. I really do. When silver's done right and it's not boring like this, it's gorgeous. And then over here we have a normal Aventador Roadster. This one's absolutely gorgeous. I thought the Aventador in white always looked great, and I'm not a big fan of white cars. After comparing it to this interior, this one looks a little bit more, I guess, regular, but I mean, still, the windshield's crazy. Got a Huracan Evo Spider, beautiful color. Got a Gallardo race car. A beautiful, I don't remember what color this is, but this is a Huracan Evo, and it has the Akrapovic sport exhaust option. We got a Urus. This is a really nice Urus. Bunch of Uri, I guess, outside. And then this is the STO that I got a chance to sit in, and definitely, personally not my favorite spec, but this actually works with the green and the black. And here is me sitting inside the STO. All right, well, I have the amazing opportunity to sit in yet another STO. I'm not gonna be driving this one this time, but I mean, look at this interior for a second. Look at the door panel. Let's close the door. So it's just me in the car. And so you got the door handle here to pull to open the door. And you have the crazy windshield design, and it's actually not that difficult to see out of. And then you have the screen here. Beautiful toggle switches for all the things, like the windows. One thing I remember when I drove it, there was a little bit of an adjustment, was the blinker system. So this is left, this is right, and to cancel, you push it in the center. Oh my God. And then look at the engine back there with the slats. You can't see anything. When I drove it, I could barely see anything out the windshield. And these bucket seats are gorgeous. And the green works. It's incredible. And then you lift this up to start it up. It's like so far fighter jet style. Incredible. All right, so we are done with Lamborghini Miami. We're walking back to Prestige Imports, and we're gonna hop back into the 911, and we're gonna head to the design district. Not really as much car content. I don't really know what this channel is. I post a bunch of shit that I just like, and if you want to watch it, great. But let's get into the 911 and head to the Miami Design District. And at the end, if you heard Sean fucking up the video, so thanks, asshole. All right, so we were back in the 911, and I really didn't film anything because we were kind of cost for time, but I just got, I don't want to say a reality check, but when you go to the design district and there's so many really expensive stores, and then you look at the items like $8,000 for a jacket, you're like, all right, yeah, back to reality a little bit, because, well, I'm not about to spend $8,000 on a jacket. I think I could get a car for that instead. But went into Tom Ford in Louis Vuitton, and I got to try on this beautiful jacket in Tom Ford, which was $8,000, and I was in love with it. So, you know, since I do love fashion and I love jackets, it could be maybe a grail piece one day, you know, like your dream car. This would be like my dream suede jacket. But we're just on our way back to where I started, which was at Dana Point in Fort Lauderdale, and we're just in a bunch of bad Miami traffic. So I guess we'll see you when we get there. Hello everybody from a couple days later. I forgot to film an outro for that particular video because when I got home I was absolutely exhausted, but that was quite a fun day, going to Miami, going to the design district, going to Prestige Imports, catching up with my buddy Sean. It was a pretty fun day. And if anyone's watching this in 2023, hello from the past. For those who are watching this in 2022, I would like to wish every single one of you all a Happy New Year, and I will see you all in the next video.